Welcome to Redeeming Missions, an every home podcast where we explore the heart of what it means to carry Christ to our world. I'm Tanner Peake, and I'm so glad that you're joining me today. Stefan, here we are, me and you, sitting in this podcast studio. I'm so grateful that you're sitting here with me. You've come all the way from Slovakia, so far away, just to have this podcast. I'm joking. It's not. Stefan's here for some meetings, so I'm lucky enough to have him here on the podcast. But thank you for taking the time to sit down and talk with me.
Of course, it's really an honor for me, and it's always great to be with you and just have a friendly conversation.
Yeah. Stefan oversees for the ministry of Every Home for Christ, Western and Northern Europe. Am I saying that right?
Yeah, so Central, Western, and Northern Europe.
Yeah. So this is just a unique part of the world. I think we'll have a conversation today a little bit more about the unique, maybe spiritual characteristics or realities of this part of the world. But you are a cherished leader in the fellowship. Stefan, I've gotten to know you over the last years, and you're so diligent. You're such a hard worker. And I mean, even when I was with you in Slovakia not that long ago, you were jumping on calls, and you're a very connected individual, and you love our vision and mission. So I want to just honor you in front of whoever's listening on the podcast, just to say that you're so valuable part of our fellowship.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I put you on the spot. Okay, we have two questions that we were prepping before. That we always start actually the podcast with a question about what is a transformative experience of your life. It could be part of your story or a testimony. It could be something completely different. But it helps people listening. They get a sense of a little bit more of you as a human, not just as some kind of abstract person on the podcast. So can you inform us or enlighten us a little bit about your life?
Unpack a little bit. Yeah, of course. I'm glad to do that. So it's a journey. It's not just one transformative moment. It's a really journey. I will maybe start with one verse, which is really, since I gave my life to Jesus, it's coming with me and it's just shaping my personality. And this is what I shared already yesterday, that the horse is made for the day of the battle, but the victory rests in the Lord. And I think when you split it, the first part of my life was about the first part of the sentence or of the verse, where I was still trying to be in charge and in control of everything in my life. And the transformative moment was when I just realized, okay, I'm not able to do that. I'm not strong enough. Actually, it's just a big lie that I'm in control. And I want just give my life to God and give Him the charge over my life. And so there was this big shift in my mindset, the metanoia moment, which we...
the big turning, right?
Yeah, the big turning. Yeah,
big turning.
Yeah, so actually...
Transformation.
The transformation, that was the first words when Jesus started his mission. He said, God's kingdom, it's near. Metanoia, turn, switch your mindset, change your worldview. And so there are like few moments in my life where are somehow connected with that. So I will start with my childhood. I grew up in a family where the faith played just cultural and social role. So I've been taught there is a God. You have to believe in this God. Point. But no one teach me or taught me how you can have a real relationship with this God. And so my image of God became just a caricature. And as a child, I have made just some expectation. God is responsible for everything because He's in charge of everything. So He's responsible for the good things, for the bad things, even in my life. And one moment was really transformative in my life when one day I've been maybe 10 years old and I've been praying to this God. And I was saying, God, I want it so much. Please make it happen, give it to me. I want it so much. And he did not. And I was so disappointed. I was crying. I was really crushed as a child. And I pointed my finger to the sky and I said, Lord, I prayed for it. You knew I wanted and you didn't give it to me. We are done. I don't talk to you anymore. From now on, I'm just talking to Jesus. Once when
amazing.
I became a believer and gave my life to Jesus, I realized that how funny was that, yeah? So, and then I go like the most of the young men without God on a journey which was just partying and just living the life like the whole world is doing. But also in those moments and in those years, there was moments where God was really gently knocking on my door. And back then I realized, okay, that was you. So there's like two major moments. He sent, one day I was trying to stop a car. It was raining. I missed my last bus to my village and I have to run. So I tried to stop the cars. No one wanted to stop. And then suddenly one car stopped. The gentleman opened the door. We start talking and I said, hey, no one wants to stop. Only you. Why did you that? And I said, yeah, this is the way how I live. And then when I was already at home, I said, hey, how can I just pay it back to you, what you did for me? And he said, I'm building a church in Novi Smokovec, which is in High Tatras, a village. If you want, every Sunday we are trying, volunteers are coming and helping. And I said, yeah, of course, I will come. Never show up, you know.
He gives you a ride and you hang him out.
So that was the invitation from Lord, but I refused. Then I've been then already living in Switzerland, and I know that one day a nice family was passing by.
You were living in Switzerland at that point, right?
No, that was in Slovakia.
That was in Slovakia, but
then
you
I
moved to
Switzerland.
Switzerland.
2006. And one day I was also sitting in front of a beautiful lake and a family was passing. And we started just chatting and this gentleman as well started to talk to me and so on and asking myself and how are you doing here? Are you new? And so on. And at the end, he said, hey, so I'm a pastor from one church. If you want, you can come in. And have you ever heard about Jesus? He asked me, and I said, yeah, of course. I know everything about him, you know. You don't need to explain to me. He was even carrying a flyer with him. He wanted to give it to me. And I said, no, I know everything. So that was where God tried again, reach out to me. But I don't open my door. Whoa. Then suddenly, probably he said, okay, let's play the Joker. And he said, send my wife, OG's daughter.
Right.
Yeah. So I met her in the digital space. I start chatting with her and I just realized this person, I never seen her live, but the beauty of her heart just amazed me. And I just realized, okay, there is really in the world beauty and purity and love. And I just was wondering, how is it possible that someone can feel and think like she is doing that? And then I realized, okay, the source of that is Christ and is a God and a relationship with God. And that was the turning point when I said, okay, I want to know more. And I became so hungry and started just reading Bible. She was helping me. She was discipling me. And then back then, I went one day to Slovakia and close to Salzburg, which is in Austria, maybe, over the Salzburg is one village. It's called Munze. There is a beautiful lake and there is a petrol station where I make a break and you can look over the lake. It's a beautiful view. It was midnight. And it's funny, there was a really tiny chapel, highway chapel. Maybe rarely 2 or 3 people can go inside. I went there and I sit there for hours and I just put all the garbage in front of the God, which I was carrying in my backpack. And I felt, okay, I'm not lovable, but you still gave your son. And there was the point where I understand, okay, how much he loved the world and how much he loves me. And that was the turning point. And I cannot describe it in words, but he just touched me in a way where I said, okay, and from now on, I know that you are real, that you exist. Nothing, never ever can take this experience away from me. Now I understand how much you love me and how much you love the world. And that was just, there the journey started, right?
Wow.
And the next moment was like already, I was already believer. I was serving in the church and so on. That could be already, maybe I could be on my journey with Christ for 10 years. And I became sick. So I was struggling with pain in my heel for almost 1 year. I couldn't sleep. It was painful to walk for me. Before I went sleep, my wife had to bandage my feet, and I have to put it on pillow in the air. As soon it touched something, it was just pain. I couldn't sleep. And while I was praying for it and just trying to go to doctors and trying this medicine and this medicine, nothing was helping. One day, I've been on Sunday service. I was praising Lord, praying, and I said, "Oh Lord, please help me to heal my heel." And right in the moment, I said, "What? What are you asking? He should be your assistant. You are in charge once again, and he should assist you to heal it." I said, "Lord, sorry for this stupid prayer. I am not in charge. You are not an assistant. If you want heal me, just do it." And suddenly in that moment, I felt like a warm in my whole feet, and it's gone. Since then, I have no pain. And I came home and I was thinking, okay, this is a miracle. I should tell it to everyone. Hey, maybe I'm just crazy. So one day I don't tell even my wife that what happened. So I went to sleep. My wife bandaged my feet, and I was thinking, "God, sorry, Lord, that I have so small faith." And this is for me fascinating that even he knew how I will react.
Right.
He still did it, you know.
Right.
And the next day I already told to my wife, and she said, "Hey, you have to tell it everyone, you know. You have to share it with the church. So this is a beautiful encouragement for everyone." So I did, yeah. But what this moment was really, once again, something would transform my heart, because it not only my body was healed, but my soul and my image of how I understand God was healed in first place. So maybe one day I will have the pains once again, but the healing of my heart and of my understanding of God's image, this will never be the same, you know. So this was beautiful. And maybe, I don't know how much time we have. The last transformative moment was then how I came actually to every home.
Yeah.
So I've been living for 15 years already in Switzerland with my wife and so on. And I have, since the first transformative moment, I just told, "Okay, Lord, if you want, just use me. I just want to give you all my energy and my workaholism or whatever. Just use all the talents you gave me for the sake of your kingdom." And then one day came this invitation. "Yeah, do you want to join the Continental Unity team in Europe? We are actually looking for someone like you." And I was praying about that. I was not sure. I was talking to my pastor. He was mentoring on me on that. And he just said, "You know what? Sometimes you don't need to wait for miracles answer on confirmation from God. Just bring it in front of him and tell him, 'Hey, Lord, I'm going to do that. If you want, if it's bad, just stop me.'"
Close the door. Yeah.
Close the door. So I quit my job. We quit the flat. We quit the kindergarten. My wife quit her job and everything. And we moved already almost everything to the new flat to Slovakia, because there is the base of the continental unit for Eurasia. And week before, we have to actually go just with the suitcase with few clothes to Slovakia. I got a call from the Continental Unit director, that was Andre, and he just explained me, hey, COVID hit also our ministry so badly. No one was prepared for that. And he just explained me the situation, how hard it is, how you are handling that here in the US. You are laying down the workers and so on. And I say, okay, but there are people who was serving the Lord faithfully for decades. Hey, I don't want to be the one who just now come in or whatever. We had the contract and everything, but I said, okay, I will not come. And he asked me, hey, what are you going to do now? And I said, I don't know. Next week I have to move out of this flat. We are both jobless. The hard lockdown started. We don't have even enough clothes, and we cannot purchase clothes because everything is closed. We are not able to go to Slovakia because that was the really hard lockdown. So we have to move out of this flat, but we are not allowed to go to the new flat. So then I just paused. I sit down and I said, hey, Lord, you knew that it will came this way. I just prayed and asked you for shut the door if it's not a good idea. And I was not disappointed. I was not mad. I just said, I don't understand it. But you know what? Just, okay, here I am. Just lead me in this new difficult situation. And I think that was the final test where these characteristic of my person to be always in charge totally changed. And I said, no, okay, that's a brand new world, new situation, but you are in charge. Lead me. I don't know what to do. And so to put it together, I think I'm a living example of how big is the grace of our Lord. And also how much sense of humor he has.
That's right.
So the little boy who pointed the finger to sky, I don't talk to you, it's still holding the finger, but now he is just talking only about him everywhere. So
your story is so beautiful, Stefan. I've never heard. I mean, I don't know if I've heard almost any of that. Some maybe pieces of that before. What really strikes me as you share your story is just how good God is, how kind he is to give you all of these instances, that he's never just forcing you, never coming along and putting pressure on you to do anything.
Yeah.
He's giving you an opportunity to open your hands and to release control, and he's meeting you on a lakeside in Switzerland, and I mean just all of these little instances. And I think that makes me love God more. There's something about that that endears your heart to the Lord, to see that he impacts every person in different ways, but he's always pursuing. It's like he's always coming after us, but in a way that he knows that we can handle, in a way that is for our transformation, that is the best for our transformation. So I love your story. I love your story about being a child. And saying, I'm no longer praying to God, I'm praying to Jesus.
Yeah. That's so. When I realized all of that, and then I saw all this action of him, how he was gently knocking on my door all the time, was with me and holding my hand, and I know that he's not doing that only for me. This kind of love he have towards everyone, towards every single soul. Yeah. And this is something what just fueled me, what just gave me the energy to just share that with everyone.
Right. I mean, to kind of shift gears, to take your story and apply it to Europe right now, whether it's in Czech Republic or in the UK or Ireland or Norway or any of these nations, Germany, there's people walking on the streets like you. They're trying to catch the bus. They're trying to get a ride. They're just living normal everyday life. And I believe that the Lord is knocking on the door of every one of those souls in different ways, just in unique ways. And,
Absolutely. I'm convinced about that.
Which is beautiful. If you think about that, there's so much, I think, commentary about places like Europe. I mean, we're going to talk about that, now here in just a second. But there's this sense that it's post-Christian and that it's cold and it's hard and it's, people everyone has turned away from God, but God hasn't turned away from Europe. And he's still knocking.
Yeah.
Just like he was knocking on your door, he was knocking on these, on men and women, children, on the doors of their heart.
People are seeking Jesus. Even in places where restrictions and persecution try to silence the good news of hope, believers have risked everything to carry Christ's love and light to their neighbors. Inspired by the courage of believers in a restricted nation, Every Home has created free Christmas cards that you can print at home featuring encouraging stories of transformation for you to share with your friends and neighbors. Carry the light with us this Christmas season. Learn more and print your cards at everyhome.org/Christmas.
Yeah, so speak a little bit what you see as the spiritual condition of Europe.
Yeah, so to put it simply, it's really, we are talking about the secular Europe all the time, and the atheism and secularism and materialism and how it is bad, everything. But actually, I see, and it's not just only my own experience when I am visiting the ministries and talking to leaders, but also just recently I met some other partners in Amsterdam, and they just confirm it, that God is on move in Europe. So that the Europe is not post-Christian, but is pre-revival.
It's so good.
All the
I've heard you
researches,
say that. I love that.
All the researches are just confirming that the spiritual curiosity and hunger for reading Bible it's just skyrocketing in all the nations in Europe, which is just amazing.
That's incredible. It's not post-Christian, it's pre-revival. It's another way of saying God hasn't given up.
Yeah.
That's what I hear you saying. God has not given up on Europe. In fact, he's stirring the hearts of people. And like you said, it's for the word of God. That's wild. When you just say that, it just blows my mind that is the way that the Lord is stirring people's hearts. He's drawing them back into his word.
Absolutely. And when I say that God is on move, it's just like the CEO of one mission organization which is working with you just said as well, hey, what we are experiencing in the past months, it's just something what we even couldn't dream about that. And I have to just admit, it's not because of our strategy. It's really because of Spirit of God is upon Europe, and He is in charge and doing something.
It's amazing. I just think it's amazing. I think the Western societies, Northern Europe Europe and U.S. So much of the church used to be centered. At the beginning of the 20th century, so much of the church, evangelicalism and Protestantism, even Catholicism in a way, was centered out of Europe and out of the West, and it was moving from the West outward.
Yes.
And now the statistics, it's flipped, and now much of Christianity is being centered out of Latin America and Africa and Asia Pacific, and all of these places. And there's a tendency for us to forget that God is not done with these places. Same thing as the United States. It's a very volatile, very, very volatile time in the United States. And a lot of people have given up hope in various ways, or they're finding hope in various means. And I think as, we're Every Home for Christ right now. We haven't said this publicly. So this is the public, maybe the most public we've been about it. But right now we are in the process of really exploring what would it look like for Every Home for Christ to serve the church in the U.S. in a new way. And that will be a leadership that will fall on us and fall on me specifically. I want to be a ministry director in the way that our ministry directors are around the world. But it's in similar situation. How do we, as Europe, how do we foster or steward the curiosity that God is putting in people's hearts? How do we equip them or how do we meet them where they're at in their spiritual need? What are some ways, or what are some, we're working all over Europe. Every Home for Christ is in Western Europe, Northern Europe, Central Europe. What are some of the ways that we are meeting people in their curiosity today?
Yeah, so I think what's now really happening is the creativity. So like, for example, now in Czech Republic, we have a beautiful project. The name of the project is The Whole Nation Believe. And just helping to people to go back to the roots of the nations and their history, and placing in front of them the question, in what do you believe? What's your belief? Because every single person actually believe in something.
In something, right?
Yeah, and this project is really amazing because it is about the brothers Cyril and Methodius, who came from Balkan back then and brought us the script and the alphabet. They created a special alphabet for the Central European nations.
Wow, so these two brothers,
yes,
they actually came from the Balkans, so a different part of Europe. They came as missionaries and helped develop society.
Yes. So they were sent by the king to go to Central Europe and proclaim the gospel. And when they said, okay, we can talk about the gospel, but it is important also to translate the Bible. So they said, okay, they have no alphabet, so they created an alphabet for us. And we are celebrating this every year. That's a public holiday in Czech Republic, in Slovakia, but also in Balkan countries. But many times we forget that they just don't brought the alphabet. They were in first place followers of Christ, and they brought gospel to us, and this is sometimes forgotten. So that's why the project decided, okay, let's talk about it, because everyone know them, but many people forgot that they were in first place believers. So, and the project have many different things how it is realized. One of them is the survey. So they created a survey where many Christians have been trained, and also with their team, it is almost 900 believers going outside to the streets and talking to people and making this survey. This survey is made by and overseen by a doctor of sociology from the Prague University, which is really on the high level.
Right.
And they are just trying to figure out or asking the questions people, hey, what do you is there anything in what you believe? And actually in Europe the most atheistic nation is Czech Republic. Yeah. Wow. But these surveys and this research confirm it that this is not longer the truth. Actually, the people in Czech Republic are not more atheistic than other nations in Europe, and this is very important for us, that the spiritual curiosity in Czech Republic is on very high level. Wow. This means for the church that the streets are not full of atheists, but full of seekers.
Wow!
But someone have to bring them the answer.
Right.
Yeah. To their spiritual hunger and spiritual curiosity.
Right.
And we have the best answer to it. It's the gospel.
That's right.
So that's something what should encourage the church and believers to go out and share the gospel. Most of those conversations when the survey have been done ended with a prayer. 30% of those people who was surveyed gave their contact data and said, please, I want to know more about it. Get in touch with me. 30% of all those people. So this is just amazing. And beside of that, there was developed a program for schools where 40 schools and 70 teacher was trained, and that was before summer, before the 2 months school holiday started. So new schools are coming in now because the project is still in progress. There was made, for example, an animation, so video about this project, and there is already over 100,000 views.
Wow.
Only when we are checking the social media on Facebook, only on the Facebook was around 150 or 140,000 plus active engagements with the project.
It's amazing.
It's been a part of. It was the results has been presented in the national TV,
right?
There and in the radio, in the newspaper. Actually, now some politicians and senators decided that we will close this project in the Senate, in the Knights room, where we will present all the results.
Wow.
And yeah, it's just beautiful.
I think for someone listening to this, one, they're getting insight into Europe and specifically into Czech Republic. But this is actually a great way of explaining every home to people. I think I get questions all the time. It's what I do. I answer questions about who is every home and what do we do. This is a beautiful case of that. We look at the local context, and so we're looking at Czech Republic, the realities of Czech Republic. In this case, we're doing a survey, a highly reputable survey. It's non-threatening to individuals. It's allowing us to understand the spiritual condition of the country, which is so important. It's important for us to be able to pray. It's important as we develop different just means of reaching people. But then people are handing off contact information. There's spiritual hunger. We're able to follow up with that, develop resources, government, newspaper. I mean, all of these things. It just shows. I'm trying to educate a little bit of someone who's listening, just on the diversity of every Home for Christ. We are not just one thing. In every instance, in every country, we're trying to reach people right where they're at. You know, we have this name, Every Home for Christ, and historically that's meant we've gone door to door, and we still, in many places, we go door to door. But I like to think of it as we go to where people are.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
sometimes
absolutely.
where they're at, you know, is on the street in Prague. You know, they're walking the streets of Prague and they are curious about God, and we get them a Bible, or we connect them with a Bible, and we reach people, or we meet people, or we love people right where they're at. So I love that. How about somewhere else in Europe? What's another creative, out of the box maybe strategy that we're employing in this continent?
Yeah, there are many, but maybe I will pick southern Italy.
Okay.
Where they created a board game.
Marco.
Yeah. They created a unique board game, and this board game is about to talk about the values. So let's talk once again about the values which are important for our lives and for our society, which is crucial for everyone.
Right.
And this board game, it's really fascinating. There has been a series, or it's running a series about like kind of mafia. Yeah, it's something like Sopranos.
Sure.
Back
It's a
then.
mafia show.
Mafia show.
Yeah.
And the major character, it's so well known in Italy. So even all the youth and young guys trying to have the same haircut and wear the same clothes, and everyone is amazed by him. And he just became the main face of this project. He said, okay, I am playing the bad guy, but I don't believe in that, that we should live our lives like mafia is doing. Actually, what I believe are core values of the Bible. And he is the representative face of this board game, because this board game want to just bring awareness to the society, and not just only to the children, but also to grandparents, to their parents and so on, when they are playing this game, that, okay, there are some values which are really important. And where where are we having this, where they are coming from, these values. That's the values of the Bible. This should be the connection to bring people to Bible, to gospel. Yeah.
Whoa. I love, Marco doesn't speak that good of English, so I'm not sure that he listens to the podcast or if he would understand it, but we love our ministry director, actually Marco. He's one of our stronger leaders. I just cherish him as a leader. I love his creativity. And again, that's a great example, I think, of just how every home is constantly innovating. We're just constantly asking the question, how do we meet people where they are? And we have this spokesman, in southern Italy, we're utilizing this spokesman and this board game. Just so exciting. I don't get to hear a lot of this stuff. I mean, some of these are new stories to me, and it just gets me jacked. It gets me excited. So
yeah, and this is the heart of every home. It's on one way we want really to give everyone the opportunity to respond to the true and love of Christ, and to. When we say everyone, then we mean really everyone. So we want really saturate the whole nation. Every single soul should be reached with the gospel. On the other hand, this is just one thing what we do. On the other hand, we want to see transformation. We want what God is. This is God's mission, because what He wants to do is restore, to transform once again everything what was broken. So to heal the wounds and restore it. And this is the other thing what we are doing in every home. Everything what we do should serve also this main purpose, that souls and people and nations will be transformed. And balancing that, it's sometimes challenging, but this is everything what we do and why we do that.
This is amazing. Stefan, I want to reiterate just how grateful I am for your leadership. I'm sitting here trying to think of words that I could say. I'm so proud of what we do. I'm proud of all of our ministry directors. I know some of them really well. I don't know many of them or others as well. I'm going to be with them next year. I'm so excited to be with our brothers and sisters in that part of the world. But you're doing such a good job of shepherding and leading and cultivating, giving space for people to be creative. It's just good leadership. So I want to just say that again. I'm grateful for you. If you were going to give our audience a prayer request or a prayer, how could they pray for Europe today?
So, as I mentioned, that the spiritual curiosity and hunger for studying Bible, it's just skyrocketing, and it's immense. My prayer would be that that God will lead us and give us the wisdom how to make the best out of this opportunity what is now in the Europe. How to serve those people who are thirsty for and seeking.
That's a great request, to pray that the Lord would help us make connections and find resources, and just that we would continue to meet people where they're at in their curiosity. Okay, last question. We've made it. Last question. I ask this to every person. What does it mean to carry Christ? What does that mean to you specifically?
I will put a short story in front of that. So I think it was last year. I've been in Paris and I met one of our volunteers, which is making evangelism in the subway. So, and this was a unique experience. I will show you later the picture of her. Her name is Maya. He is a tiny person, smaller than I, blonde hairs, blue eyes, and a handsome lady. And it's going out to the subway where you can imagine how it's a dangerous place.
Yeah, it's full. I've been in the Paris subway. It's full.
It's not a nice place to be sometimes, and it's you can have even a fear. And she just took me on the trip, and we showed me how she is evangelizing over there. So basically, we jump inside of a wagon. You have maybe sometimes 60 seconds, sometimes 2 minutes. She just proclaiming the gospel, sharing her own story. I don't speak French, so the only thing I understood was like, "Je m'appelle Maya," my name is Maya, and she started to talk to the audience. Every single time when she walked in, she switched the message. When there was sitting maybe tourists from Asia space, or there was maybe more people from Arabic rooms, she always changed it. But few things never change. First, very short story of her life. How she was transformed. The second, that the life is in Jesus and in the gospel. And as she was sharing the gospel, me and Jonathan, the ministry director from France, was sharing the leaflets in different languages. So each leaflet had more languages. And then once you hit the stop, you jump out, run really quick to the next wagon, and make the same.
Right.
And like 10 stops, you reach the whole subway. And it was just amazing. When we finished, I remember this, and I will never forget it. I was trying to give one flyer to one young man, and he just refused. No. He was sitting with his friends, and he just refused. On the last stop, we jumped out. We were going out from the subway, and someone just trying to stop me. I turned around, and it was him, and he just start talking to me, and I don't understand anything, but I understood he wanted the flyer. He wanted to know more, and this was really something what I will not remember his face and how he was really thirsty, how he was touched by what he heard, and that his hunger to know more about that, and he took the flyer. And what I want to say is, carrying Christ. I'm following your podcast, so I listen to all these answers from everyone, and I don't know if I heard this that carrying Christ needs also courage.
Yeah.
The courage which has this small lady, Maya. She was so on fire, and she was so bold. I said, okay, wow, I want to be so bold as she is. And for me, the image of subway, a dark space, I feel every one of us have these dark spaces in our lives. And sometimes they don't need to be really dark. Many times they are just really unpleasant. Those are places where we have to go out of our comfort zone. Many times it can be just our neighbor, where I don't have really nothing against him and we have no problem. But still, it's a place where I have to go out of my comfort zone. And so I feel that carrying Christ is also about courage to go out of this comfort zone, courage to share your story without any decorations. How I share it today, to have courage to show your weaknesses and vulnerability, to have courage to not be in charge, have courage to maybe ask for forgiveness or forgive, to courage to say, okay, I am weak, but in him I am strong. Maybe to have the courage really to be bold, to have the courage to share the truth, but also to show grace. Just have courage to love. Yeah.
Have courage to love. That's a good summary of this entire podcast.
Yeah.
Is courage to love. Stefan, thank you. Thanks for sitting
Thank
with
you.
me. I think I benefit more from these conversations than anybody. So I enjoy just hearing what God's doing, and in Europe we're going to continue to carry it in our prayers. So Just thank you.
And I just want to thank you also in name of all the leaders I am serving for your leadership, for all what you do, for your heart, which is just so beautiful, and you are really a leader who show us that, okay, love is the why we are doing what we are doing, and you constantly repeating that and you are a living example of that. I want to thank every home for the courage to give the leaders in different nations the freedom of approach, how to reach the people.
Yeah.
I think this is so unique and special in every home, and that's why every home make the difference in the world.
Amen. 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 Thank you. I appreciate the compliment, but it's my joy. All right.
Thank
Amen.
you.
Thank you.
Amen.
Thank you for joining us today on the Redeeming Missions podcast. If you like what you heard, we encourage you to visit everyhome.org/redeemingmissions to find all past episodes and learn more about Every Home and joining the efforts to carry Christ to everyone, everywhere, in every generation. Echoing in the prayer of St. Patrick, Christ with us, Christ before us, Christ behind us, Christ in us. Let us carry Christ to our world. Until next time.